and impact resistance. Finishing jobs faster has never been easier. Shop the new DeWalt Elite Series at an everyday low price, exclusively at Lowe's. We help, you save.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, oh, the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Welcome to the program. Today is Rick. Is today Wednesday or Thursday? I actually have no idea.
Today is Thursday, the 21st of August, man.
Oh, all right. Well, then it's what Rick said today is. I don't know. The days are all seeming to run together. I want to take some time today to discuss and do a deep dive into the Texas gerrymander. While that is in another part of the country, it's in another state. It is something politically that we here in Wisconsin cannot do anything about other than learn from it, pay attention from it, and see how we can potentially defend ourselves from something like that happening. So for those of you that don't know, Donald Trump is worried that with some of the decisions he has made about everything from the Epstein files to the economy to tariffs, even the early decisions that were made with Doge, including some of you that realistically believe that FEMA is going to deliver aid to you. So let's just put it this way. Donald Trump has made a lot of decisions that has him a little frightened of what the outcome may be in next fall's elections. Those are midterm elections. Those are the elections that fall between presidential contests, where every member of the House of Representatives and about a third of the members of the U.S. Senate are up for re-election. If the people in this country do not like the direction of the country by November of next year, and they look around and see, oh, the Republicans have control of the federal government, some voters may decide to give Democrats a try. That's going to hurt Donald Trump because he knows if he loses his Republican majority in the House of Representatives, he will be impeached. He will have all sorts of trouble. He won't be able to get his agenda passed. The money he's going to need to continue his deportations is going to be reallocated to other things, and Trump doesn't want that to happen. So Trump has told several governors, we'll start with the governor of Texas, carve out 5 additional Republican legislative congressional seats. Now, that might not make a lot of sense to people. You need 218 members of the House of Representatives to have the majority. I believe as of right now, the Republicans have just a 5-seat majority. Well, Trump wants 5 more, and that he loses 5. And I bet you of the 435 congressional districts in this country, I have a sneaking suspicion that 5 or 6 of the 435 congressional districts, some of whom are Republican, could potentially be taken by a Democrat just because of some of Trump's actions. And Trump has done so many things to upset so many different groups of people. Like, there might be someone who's in a Republican district right now whose loved one or family member was taken by ICE, but their loved one or family member was an actual citizen or had a green card or had a visa. And that may change the minds. And that has happened all over the country. But it's little things like that. There might be a business owner who placed their orders for their inventory for the year, but then the tariffs hit, and now they got to go to the bank and borrow $4 million more so that they can get their inventory to keep their business afloat. That person may have been a pro-business, pro-Trump person and might decide to vote for the Democrats because of how Donald Trump has hurt their business endeavors. And there's all sorts of thousands, if not millions of people who may have been individually hurt by Donald Trump in ways that he did this time that he did not do in his previous term, you see. And if any of those people decide to vote for a Democrat, either because they want to see how the Democrats can better perform, or if they want to punish Trump, Trump will be in trouble. He will lose his majority in the House of Representatives because Trump knows this. And so he told the Republican governor of Texas, carve out 5 more Republican-leaning seats so that I can lose 5 and still keep my majority, because if I lose my Republican majority in the House to the Democrats are coming for my orange ass. It is illegal. It is completely unconstitutional, and it is unprecedented to redraw congressional maps between census counts. You guys know what the census is. It's the form that you get or the online website that you go to where you tell the government how many people live in your house. I know you know what it is because a bunch of you don't fill it out. Every 10 years we have a census, not just to count how many people are in the country, but to figure out how we are going to draw congressional maps, because as people move and migrate, you get more congressional representation. For every 500,000 people of population a geographic area has, you now earn a seat in Congress, meaning that 500,000 people now have a new voice in Congress. We count people every 10 years to make sure our maps are representing where people live, where populations have shifted, et cetera, et cetera. But also the census is about the apportionment of money. For every person in population, there's about $1,000 of federal resources. And that $1,000 per person of population is for education, health care, infrastructure, roads and bridges, because people work in this country and we pay taxes, but we also consume resources and we consume government. You got a car. Your car drives on the road. You are going to do some wear and tear on the road. The federal government is like, oh, okay, well, we're going to have to allocate some money for all the wear and tear on the road because of these individual people that live in the country. But we don't know how much money we should allocate until we know how many people there are, you see. And so then we get our big census count. We find out where populations are, where they've moved to. We draw fair congressional maps based on population, but we also know if one area has lost 40,000 people, another area has gained 40,000 people, then the area that has gained the 40,000 people are going to need additional federal resources because they're going to consume more. It's really a simple process, but we do it every 10 years. We don't do it every 2. We don't do it every 6 months. We don't do it every 5 years, and we certainly don't do it because a president wants to make sure that their majority is protected. Here's the problem there's a number of problems with what they're doing in Texas. In order to create these 5 new congressional districts in the state of Texas to protect Donald Trump from his party being in the minority in the House, they're taking black representation. Texas is a big state with a ton of black people in it. A lot of y'all moved to Texas. Hell, Denise lives in Texas. Bunch of y'all moved to Dallas, moved to H-Town, moved to Houston. Some of y'all even moved to Austin, San Antonio, El Paso, wherever the hell y'all are going. I don't know what it is about Texas, but something about back in the 90s, everybody wanted to go to Atlanta. Everybody wanted to go to Georgia. I remember that because Freaknik was going on and everybody in Milwaukee and the upper Midwest, ooh, we going to move down to Atlanta. For what? Atlanta is just everybody's gay. Nothing wrong with that. Go ahead, gays. Go to your Mecca. But I didn't understand that. So now, like Texas in the last 10 or 15 years is where all the black people want to move to. I got the details. I'm just giving you guys a synopsis because I just want people to be clear-eyed about what is happening. And when we said all of last year, oh, if Trump gets reelected, we're going to lose our democracy. This is what it looks like. There are 5 majority black congressional districts in Texas. Remember this number. Donald Trump's majority in the House, the Republican majority in the House, is also roughly 5. With these new maps that they are drawing to give Donald Trump a 5-seat advantage with this illegally drawn, unprecedented power grab, they're going to reduce the number of black congressional seats in Texas down to 1. 5 black congresspersons will now be reduced to 1, meaning the black sentiment when it comes to the federal government and federal taxes and the Federal Bureau of Prisons and FEMA, it's all going to be condensed to a single person with a single vote and a single voice in Congress. They are evaporating black people. Now, we seem to think that when our government is oppressive, it's like heavy-handed policing and longer sentences. And sometimes, in the private sector, we don't get the job or we don't get the promotion. Yes, it is all of those things too, but evaporating black political sentiment in the state of Texas is even worse. Now, we seem to think this ain't going to impact us. This isn't going to bother us because that's down in Texas. Well, this is not the only state that is going to do that. And because far too many black people don't like voting, don't care about voting, don't think it's important, because there's not this instantaneous, immediate gratification, oh, I go vote. I have more money in my bank account. That's not how it works. We want, immediate reward for our vote, and that's not how the process works. And so a lot of us look around in our environments oh, it's terrible and crime is bad and a lot of people are unemployed. I'm not going to vote because the Democrats are terrible and the Republicans are terrible. They want you to think like that so you become apathetic. And if you stay apathetic long enough, they will take your representation, because at some point in your life, you're going to look around and say, you know what? I need to get more active. I need to get more involved in my community. I want to make things better, because you're going to get sick of it. You're going to get fed up. But people have different tolerance levels and different thresholds for when they get fed up, you see. And at some point, everybody arrives. Some people arrive at that point when they're 17. Some people arrive at that point where they're sick and they're tired and they're fed up of how the government is working when they're 70. And eventually, it's going to come down to your political representation. We complain about it in Milwaukee quite a bit. We think our leaders are trash. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not doing right by the people, et cetera, et cetera. So we know how important political leadership is. So in Texas, they're starting to evaporate black political leadership. You N-words literally don't matter. We're not going to give you representation that is afforded to you by everything from state law, local law, the Voting Rights Act, the damn 14th Amendment. Trump is able to take it away, and there are governors willing to oblige him. So every single step taken by every single civil rights marcher, every death, every funeral, every lynching, every minute, moment, second, year, decade spent in jail by all of our courageous civil rights protesters are evaporated by Donald Trump because he said so. That's the quick and dirty. I'm going to get into more details. I'm going to table that discussion, but I had to begin my show with that as a reference point so that anyone who is even remotely confused about what is happening in Texas and how they are adding more Republican districts by taking black representation. So that it's at the beginning of this show. So if you want to explain this to somebody else, you just tell them to listen to the first, 15 minutes of my show. I'm going to take a break. When I come back, I want to talk about another kind of unusual, kind of dubious milestone that is taking place right now. The children that were born during COVID, because y'all were humping. No, you were. It was like 3 million kids because it wasn't nothing else to do. I mean, we all watch a lot of Netflix. What else we do during COVID? We wore masks. We stood 6 feet apart. Like you stood 6 feet apart when you went to the grocery store. Like the person in front of you was 6 feet in front of you. The person behind you was 6 feet behind you. But the person in the aisle to your left or to your right was like 2 feet away. So that didn't really work out. So other than being 6 feet apart during COVID, y'all did some major humping. And the children that were born during COVID start kindergarten now, this fall. We're going to talk about them and the impact that COVID had on this generation of children starting school, but they started school during a pandemic, and their forecast for these children is not exactly so bright. So we're going to talk about that next. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. If you haven't done so already, go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Hit subscribe, and you'll be able to participate in the live video and the chatting that's going on. And also, you probably should listen on the internet, too, if you don't have access to YouTube. Go to 1017thetruth.com or download the free 1017 The Truth app and listen there sometimes, because if you don't, I'm going to get fired. So thank you. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design.
Great impressions.
Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Slight correction. I think I might have said 3.2 million babies were born during the COVID time. It's 3.6 million children were born. And I think they are looking at the year 2020. Yeah, it must be, because those children are 5. So just the kids born in the year 2020 are considered this new COVID generation. And they are starting school this fall. And they are a little bit different because of the environments in which these children were raised in. And there's some speculation on how COVID is going to impact them. Remember, these children didn't really get a lot of social exposure. They were at home. They were masked up. Their parents were masked up. And even the people that children did see, because I'd imagine new parents, especially if it's your first kid, like your first kid, you're real careful with. Like, you don't drop it on the floor. You know what I mean? You love it a lot. But then as you have like more kids, you sometimes like forget about them altogether. You know what I mean? Have you guys noticed that? Like the firstborn child is the one that is the most loved, the most coddled, the most cared for. And then parental attention just goes down from there. Like parents will have like 5 kids and they'll forget the 5th kid's name. But their firstborn child is always the most important. So if you were a first-time parent during COVID, you were probably particularly cautious because we didn't know what that virus was. It was a novel virus. Remember when they called it that? It was novel. Like, we don't know what it is, what it might do. How's it spread? Is it spread from the Japanese wet market, or was it created in a Chinese science lab and it got out? The answer to your question? Yes. Yes. That's yes. And so parents were nervous. They were scared. I'd imagine children grew up in environments that were artificially sterile. Because, you know, some people are already germaphobes and hypochondriacs. Like every time somebody coughs, they think they have COVID. Well, children are incredibly receptive to their environments. In fact, their brains form around what is happening in their environments. It is why we ultimately end up turning into our parents. It is why when children witness things early on, their brains literally physically form. This is biology now. Their brains physically form around those experiences. So if those children experience danger and threats and trauma and fear, they will be at some point those kinds of people that are threatened and anxious and nervous and fearful for the rest of their lives. So if you ever wonder where mental illness comes from, well, there you go. And so there's an intense amount of focus on these children that were born during COVID, especially as they start school. So I have an article here that gives a few more details, but here's what I believe. It's going to be another socially awkward generation. And I also think, because I have some information on their academic preparedness, like parents suck at teaching their kids. You know, we often say, oh, you know, home is where the kids got to learn and home is the first, you know, education that children get. 100%. But some parents suck as teachers. They just do, because they're not cut out for it. So that is why we entrust other professionals, educators, to do what a lot of parents cannot do. And I say that because there was a period of time where every parent had the opportunity to be a little bit more engaged and involved in the schooling of their kids because everybody was right there at home during COVID. The schools were closed for damn near 2 years. A lot of times parents had to, you know, be there to log their children in so that teachers knew that, you know, there was some accountability going on when the lessons started, et cetera. So every parent that had school-age children had the opportunity to be much more engaged in their children's education. And what happened? Learning loss. So if we let the first teachers, the primary teachers of children, we say is the home and the family, right? So if we give that opportunity to parents for like 2 years because we don't like teachers are no good, teachers might be culturally insensitive. I hear all of that and I agree with most of it. But then if we turn the reins over to the parents who are in fact the first teachers, kids do even worse. 3.6 million children born in 2020 amid the COVID-19 pandemic who are walking into elementary schools across the country this fall. They're children who came into a world full of masked adults dousing themselves in hand sanitizer. And this article appears via npr.org. And this article and other articles I'm going to reference during today's show are available. No, not yet. They will be available in the Hughes Views 414 Facebook group. That is the Facebook group that corresponds to this show. If you want any of the information that I discuss here on this program, you are more than welcome to join the Hughes Views Facebook group. But you got to answer membership questions. I'm not approving everybody because we little dirty little Trumpers be sneaking in there. Because I think Trumpers cover themselves in lube because they're slippery. You know what I mean? And they try to sneak in where they're not supposed to be. They enter in the wrong hole. I mean, the wrong hole as far as they enter into my group. So there's a couple of questions. I don't want them slipping in to the wrong group hole. So you got to answer some membership questions. But also, if you just want to share your thoughts and feelings about whatever and anything, it is a private group. It is my group. So you guys can share your thoughts and feelings and sentiments about, I don't know, me, the life of your life, the world, whatever. All right, back to the subject at hand. The children who came into the world full of masked adults dousing themselves in hand sanitizer, many spent their first years of their lives either in complete isolation, in lockdowns, or with only a handful of trusted people in their bubbles. You know, that can't be good for the social development of children, to only just see the same people that the parents trusted. Now, I understand why that would be, why parents wouldn't take their children out in public, or they would do so with a tremendous amount of caution or consternation and high levels of anxiety. I totally get it, because we don't know if kids could get sick from COVID. I mean, you guys saw the streets of New York during COVID. They were empty. We also had a panic because we didn't have enough damn ventilators in the country. We had to enact wartime powers, which turns industry in the United States that builds stuff and makes things and manufactures things like cars and turn them into production facilities for damn ventilators. So I do completely and totally understand parents' trepidation in who they were bringing around their children. This is going to create a generation of children who are fearful of other people, who are fearful of strangers. You know what that's called? Called xenophobia. And if in these very delicate formative years of a child, xenophobia developed because parents were, and rightfully so, fearful and cautious of strangers, not necessarily because of who those strangers are, but because they may have been carriers of the COVID virus. This could create your next generation of people who are afraid of everybody. I would credit xenophobia as one of the reasons why a lot of Americans have turned anti-immigrant, because we're just afraid of others. We don't know who they are, what they're here for. Are they trying to hurt us? This, that, and the third. I'm going to take a break, come back, talk about the impact of children that were born during COVID who are now entering school. They're starting kindergarten this fall. Did any of you have kids during the COVID? I know Mr. Marty did. He's like 70 years old, but he keeps having kids. I think he even has. So Mr. Marty, if you don't know, is an avid listener of many 1017 The Truth shows, and he just had a baby very recently. I think he's got 47 babies. I don't know how many babies he has. He's got many, many babies. So I'm wondering if any of you have had children during COVID, and are you nervous? Are you excited for them to go to school this fall? And do you believe that your children are and will be adequately prepared to start their academic careers, considering the circumstances in which they were brought into the world, which was during a pandemic? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play. We help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Tory Lowe with his truth.
It's official. July 5th is Tory Lowe Day in the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. I am humbled to receive this proclamation from the mayor's office and the county executive's office. To me, this day represents life and purpose and being driven by passion to serve and empower others. It's about being unselfish and answering the call to help those in need and living life with intention. Despite challenges and obstacles, I remain focused on creating real change in my community, county, and state. This recognition isn't about me. It's about the collective efforts of those who supported me along the way. It's about the resilience and determination that defines my journey. As we celebrate this day, I want to leave you with a challenge. What will you do to create positive change in your community? Will you get out and volunteer, mentor, or simply be a support to a friend? Whatever it is, I urge you to take action. Together we can build a brighter future, one that's filled with hope, opportunity, and empowerment. I am honored to serve, and I am grateful for this recognition. Let's continue to uplift and support one another, striving for a better tomorrow. So what does Tory Lowe Day mean to me? Let's make a difference together. Let's stay committed to our purpose and keep pushing forward even in the face of adversity. I'm excited to see the impact we can make, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve alongside such an amazing community. Now, my question is, what does Tory Lowe Day mean to you?
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Tory Lowe Show weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm talking about this generation of children who were born during COVID, who are now starting kindergarten, and the impact that COVID may have had on them, the lockdown, the lack of social engagement. Kids sometimes are already socially awkward. I think this may create even more social awkwardness because in those formative years, and think about it for a second, when a new baby is born, that's when all the friends and all the family come to the house, come check on you. You have the baby showers. By the way, men should not attend baby showers. I was really disturbed to find out that currently, Gen Z, it's normal for men to attend baby showers. Didn't know that. Baby showers are supposed to be where women are showered because they're the ones carrying the baby. Now, I know that it's also a grab. Showers are for gifts because, you know, you need a lot of stuff for a baby. You need diapers and formula. Even though you shouldn't need formula because breast milk is healthy for the baby. Breast milk babies are smart babies. I don't know if I was breastfed, but quite honestly, don't want to know. Too late to tell me now. Because now if you tell me, grossed out. Disgusting. I hope my mother never, well, she hasn't told me. I don't want to know. That's horrible. Eesh. But, you know, you got the baby shower where the women all get together and they eat little pettifours and cupcakes and whatever and buy the expecting mother a bunch of gifts. I didn't think that men attended those. But when I asked a couple of my colleagues around here, male colleagues, if they had been to baby showers, and they're like, oh my God, Sherwin, yes, we have. Men always go to baby showers. So let me ask this question, too, on a bit of a side note. Don't worry, we'll get back on track. Do you invite your bride to your bachelor party? If men go to baby showers, then do men who are about to get married invite their fiancés to their bachelor parties? I have serious questions. I know this much. when women have and throw bachelorette parties, the groom-to-be is never invited, and for good reason. Gentlemen, I don't want to start any mess this morning because we have a lot of things that we got to talk about and discuss, a lot of very serious things, including members of the Texas legislature essentially being held hostage. A lot of stuff we're going to get to. So I certainly don't want to start a battle of the sexes because it does seem in these days and times men and women are just at each other's throats. But fellas, you don't want to know what she did during her bachelorette party. You don't want to know because it's her and a group of women protecting her, the bachelorette. And you got to keep this in mind. Gentlemen, some of her friends don't like you. Some of her friends have never liked you, which is fine because you don't like them either. You don't like them, some of them heifers. But there are some of her friends that wished your wife had married her other boyfriend, the one that they all like better than you see. And so you get a woman out at a bachelorette party surrounded by women that love her and support her. But here's the most dangerous thing. And I've been around the block more than a few times, and I have seen and been privy to all sorts of different bachelorette party incarnations. Because sometimes they'll go out, like they'll go out on the weekends, and you'll see them. They're on a big bus. You know, they got, private limousine transportation, and they're always drunk and obnoxious, and the bride-to-be is wearing the veil looking like an idiot, and then she's wearing a sash like she won a beauty pageant. You did not win a beauty pageant, but she's surrounded by women that will support her in her irresponsibility that night. Because why? Bachelorette. I've witnessed some things that solidified in my mind why I don't want to get married. I would call off a whole wedding, if my wife-to-be did things that I've seen wives-to-be do during their bachelorette parties. I could have been with this woman for 10 years and love her very much and committed myself to her like literally for the rest of my life. But had I been privy to, or had some of these men been privy to what she did the weekend before or the night before or whenever her bachelorette party was, you would have called your whole wedding off. And you'll never find out because all of her friends support her in that bad decision. Hell, some of her friends encouraged her. Then you've seen it. The cop shows up at the door. The girls are there partying. They're pre-partying before they go out on Water Street to celebrate the bachelorette party. And the bachelorette, her name is Susie. Susie, the bachelorette. And they're at Janiqua's house. And Janiqua's throwing a bachelorette party at her house, and they just are drinking and they dancing. I don't know, they're playing Prince, probably a little R. Kelly, not sure. They're just dancing, and then all of a sudden, there's a knock at the door. Record scratches. Oh, no, it's not. There it is. Thank you, Rick. Oh, no. There's a policeman here. Oh. And, of course, the bachelorette, Susie, what is happening? And then the cop walks in, got sunglasses on and a cop hat. He kind of looks like Dr. Ken, but a lot younger. Excuse me, is Susie here? I am looking for Susie. I believe that she has committed a crime. And now Susie is very upset. Susie doesn't know what the heck is going on. She's very, very anxious because this is her bachelorette party. How dare this cop? And it's unusual because the cop is by himself. There's no backup. In fact, there's not even a squad car outside. It's like a Chevrolet Cobalt. Okay? Susie, I'm going to need you to come with me. Well, but where are we going, sir? It's my bachelorette party. I'm going to bend you over and search you. And then the music starts playing, and then the cop starts taking his shirt off. Rick, I think I might have beat you to the punch with the music. I was trying to say who's going to get it first. And now, you want to play? What song did you have? You got to play some Sylvester, because this is... And at this point, his wang is out. And he's swinging around. He's got a nightstick. But that nightstick doubles as a... You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hey, is this Carolyn?
It is.
Congratulations, Carolyn. You just won this
Congratulations.
Woo!
God is good all the time.
What would you do with $5,000?
I'm going to buy my nieces some school clothes because my nephew just passed away.
Aww.
So I'm going to get them some clothes.
Stay tuned into 101.7 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Marquette University High School football lives here. Catch all the action of Hilltoppers football on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Tune in this Friday night as the Hilltoppers kick off their 2025 season hosting the Arrowhead Warhawks. Join our coverage starting at 6:30 p.m., leading up to kickoff at 7 p.m. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And sponsored by Left's Lucky Town, C.J. Schmidt, Capital Insurance Agency, Boyle Fredrickson, Annex Wealth Management, Magic Productions, and Berghardt Sporting Goods.
This summer, make 3rd Street Market Hall your one-stop, must-stop destination to eat, drink, and play. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 15 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall featuring 30 Wisconsin breweries, over 50 HD TVs, and happy hour specials all week. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch, 3rd Street Market Hall is your home away from home or office. Visit 3rdstreetmarkethall.com for menus, events, and more information.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Rick, stop doing the shoulder shimmy and get the phone. If y'all can see what I see when I look into the producer studio. So when I look up, there's this gigantic glass window that Rick is behind. And when Zach gets here, Zach, who does Tori Show, Zach gets here a little early. I call them the DJ twins because both of them are DJs outside of their radio production duties, and they just distract me to no end. They're in there making faces and gestures and dancing to my music, etc., etc. All right, let's get back on task here. Why do you guys distract me talking about the bachelorette party? All I'm saying is I didn't know The men attended baby showers, they do, and then it's a natural curiosity because I'm a very inquisitive person with an inquisitive temperament. I wondered, well, if men are going to baby showers, are women now attending men's bachelor parties? I've actually seen that before. Some men are so damn henpecked that the groom will say, well, hey, guys, she's going to join us at about 9:30. She's going to... But bachelor parties now are not what they were. Now it's just a bunch of dudes that like go out to dinner or they'll go to a Brewer game because, you know, a lot of times people get married in the summer. That's stupid. That's just a regular night out. And yay, we might get drunk. Some of them don't even drink. They go drink iced tea somewhere. Bunch of dudes going to the park. Hey, my bachelor party's on Friday. You guys want to go to the park? Maybe? You want to go fishing? No.
Let me ask you this, Sherwin. So if you're out with the guys and it's the bachelor weekend, your friend is getting married, and you're like, yeah, you know, the wife and her friends are going to join us for a bachelor party. You guys are down. What is your response?
I'd probably leave. Because it's not a bachelor party. Because here's what's crazy. He can't go to her bachelorette party because that is strictly prohibited. And a lot of times, these women, either they don't trust their men. If that's the case, what the hell are you marrying them for? Or she just has the ability to insert herself in every part of his life, including and especially when he is with his friends. Absolutely. Yeah, I've seen it before. Now, here's the thing, too. Some women's credit. I've seen some things at bachelor parties where even I was taken aback. I was like, ooh, boy, that's a lot.
Please do tell.
So it's not always the groom. I've seen some very well-behaved grooms at bachelor parties. Very well-behaved. Like, he kept it together. I could tell, like, these dudes loved their wives and they wouldn't violate. They're not even married yet and they're still being great. Here's the problem. Here's always the problem at bachelor parties, at least back in the day. I'm talking 20th century bachelor parties, you know, back in the 90s, you know, way back then. I also realized that I talk about the 1990s like my parents talk about the 60s because, quite honestly, same amount of time from when they were talking about the 60s to when I'm talking about the 90s. It's crazy, right?
But 80s and 90s were a good time, especially the early 2000s. The movies were great in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I don't entirely disagree, Rick, but we always look back and remember how good things were because we tend to forget all of the bad. And whenever we think about a decade or we wax nostalgic about, you know, back then, it's because we were younger, we had less responsibility, and everything was just better or fun. But that's just a part of getting old. We always overestimate the good of the past. But America was definitely different. Our political sentiments were different. Our social sentiments were different. Black people's consolidation for civil rights, I think it fell to a low in those times because we didn't have the organizing capabilities like we do now with social media. So I think that black people were getting screwed over in ways that I think we accepted in the 80s and in the 90s that a new generation of African Americans did not accept because they saw all of the progress we failed to make when civil rights activism fell to a low. That's how I conceptualize that. But it's always the best man is the worst one. The best man, because the best man a lot of times, he's already married. He's been married. His life is sexless. There's no affection. He gets yelled at. He gets nagged at. Even when he tries to do things, this is the best man now. When the best man tries to do things and he tries to be helpful and he tries to lift some of the burden off of his wife, even if he's like putting away the dishes or doing the laundry, he isn't doing it the way she would do it. Therefore, she considers him a failure. And women have even coined that term. It's weaponized incompetence. That makes me so sick. Like, I wish people knew the kind of violence that exists in marriages is not always physical. Do you know that? Because women can't physically fight a man, at least not very well, or at least most women can't. Women have learned to be dangerous, harmful, and hurtful in other ways with their tongues, with their mouths, with the words that they say. the mean girl syndrome, because women cut each other down in ways that I never could even imagine. Like, if men talk to other men the way that women sometimes berate other women, men would just shoot each other instead of being talked to like that. However, I digress. So the best man now, he's at the bachelor party. He's thinking of all the attention, the affection he doesn't get. The best man is now thinking about how he's tried to be helpful and he has just been disrespected by his wife. And then he gets to that bachelor party and he cuts up. 90% of the bachelor parties that I have been to, and all my damn friends are married, the best man clowns the worst. I was at a bachelor party once, so this dude was getting married. His name is Mike. And his fiance's brothers, so his soon-to-be brother-in-laws were there. There's two of them. And then the father of the bride-to-be, so his soon-to-be father-in-law, okay? So Mike is the bachelor, big old bachelor party. We were in our 20s. He got married young. Still married, by the way. So it's about 30 of us, the bachelor, and the bachelor soon-to-be brother-in-laws and father-in-law. Then the entertainment arrived. It was so bad. It was so raunchy that the father-in-law and the two brother-in-laws left. They're like, yeah, we're out of here. We don't even want to see this. But, and the bachelor, he was cool. But everybody else clown. I mean, I was 22. So Mike and the rest of them guys were like 23. And we all went to high school together. We all played football together. And we were just young and silly. But the guy that we trusted to bring the entertainment he's not the person you should trust to bring entertainment. You're supposed to get like dancers. My man he went to the streets. And yeah, go ahead and fill in the blanks. The Town, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
When you was saying that story, it was just like one song that came into my head. Let me see you up the do the brown.
Classic Luke.
That's classic Luke. Originator, dang near. Hey, with the I listened to you one time when you was with my man, younger fellow, he be working for me or whatnot, and we was talking about the baby shower thing, and I was like, we don't agree on much, but you know what I'm saying, we agree on that one, because he was like, damn, man, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with the baby shower? Dude, going to the baby shower, we can have the bells over, it can be all together. I'm like, bro, it's a baby shower. It's not for you. It's for the girls and the ladies. And they can do their women talk and stuff like that, man. It's not for you, bro. Now, if you wanna go to the bar and like I say, like you said, smoke and have smoke some cigars and have some yak, and congratulations, brother. That's how men celebrate their kids. They have what's the name? We have a cigar. We have a drink. We might smoke some of that ooh-wee, and then that's it. I think with that baby shower stuff, it's kind of like the new kids, the YNs. They the ones that want to go to it or whatever like that. But that ain't cool though. Keep that for the girls, man. Keep that for the girls and the women. Let them have something. It's all good if they can have something, and then we can have something too. Yeah. Everything don't have to be mixed all the time.
But let's leave it there while we're still agreeing. Appreciate your call, man.
There you go.
All right, The Town. Yeah, he and I sometimes have different perspectives on, everything. But no, we agree on that. And this all started with the original topic of conversation. The children that were born during COVID are now entering kindergarten. And, of course, we went into a long soliloquy about marriages and baby showers and bachelor parties. And I said all that to say this. Research shows that early childhood experiences can have lasting effects on development and growth, according to a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association of Pediatrics. While nurturing experiences can increase cognitive capabilities and academic achievement, early life disadvantages can lead to a persistent deficit in skills to manage adversity, stress, and self-esteem. We'll pick that up for hour 2. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Coming with straight truth.
Be careful of the decisions that you make and the company that you keep, because that is going to determine a certain consequence. So you don't have to wait to go to prison, or you don't have to wait to figure it out what the consequences may be. All you got to do is look at your decision making and who you allow in your space. If they making wild decisions, wild things don't happen. But you don't get to choose what wild things are going to happen.
Catch the Tori Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Maya is always on the move, and so is her money. Buy this here, deposit that there. She and her money are a lot to keep track of. Good thing Maya banks with Landmark Credit Union and uses their amazing mobile app. Maya checks her balance, deposits checks, pays bills, even transfers money between friends. So while Maya is coming and going, she can see her funds coming, going, and, best of all, growing. Landmark Credit Union. Banking made easy. Insured by NCUA.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
The biggest snowflakes out here are always been the white Republicans, who are so gung-ho on protecting the feelings of white kids while they ignore the needs of other kids. If Milwaukee's youth has a problem with fighting, well, white youth have a problem with being destructive and offensive. So it is sad that our government is actively working to de-emphasize educating and uplifting students of color in different backgrounds on college campuses. That emphasis is going to be diminished, and the only kids that will suffer will be our kids. They were willing to hold up the advancement of the state of Wisconsin because they disagree with DEI. What are white Republicans afraid of? Why are they afraid to face the fact that their grandmas and grandpapas were part of a system which purposely held black folks back and failed to give us the access that we deserve? Until these politicians stop ignoring these egregious acts of hate and racial incidents, America can never be great again.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. Locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah.
Let me see you pop them things, shake them, do the brand.
Welcome to hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Oh, this is a blast from the past. I don't know if music has the same effect now as it had back in the day. Y'all remember us Gen Xers, those of you that are born between 65 and 80, when certain songs came on. It didn't even matter what you were doing. You could be breastfeeding a baby, and if a certain song came on, you would just get out on the dance floor with your breasts hanging out. You just would stop what you were doing. But this was also a time when we, as men, danced. Now when men dance, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't know. We didn't dance. These fellas now, they jigglate. You know, they gyrate. They do the Steve the Stoner dance, which I don't like it. But I'm old, so whatever. It's just, am I the only one that feels that way? That how these boys raised by their mamas, grandmamas, aunties, and play female cousins are all just, let me stop before you guys get mad at me. So we always have deep concern for our young people, for our children. We want them to have bright and prosperous futures. We also want them to be very well disciplined in public. We don't want them to cause any troubles. We don't want them to be victims. We also don't want them to be perpetrators of violence. I think that our community takes very seriously the low academic performance of our young people because we know that that can potentially hurt their job prospects in the future. I really honestly believe that we take that very seriously. And so when I found this information about these children who were born during COVID now starting kindergarten, what kind of trajectory are they going to be on? Because their formative years, those first 5 years of their lives, was shaped largely by the pandemic and fears of getting sick and the anxiety of their parents. And they didn't really have a lot of social interaction, these children did. And I wonder how that is going to bode for them as they enter their academic careers. So I've got a story here from NPR.org, National Public Radio, where they are closely following, monitoring, and tracking a lot of different data and statistics on how these children are going to be impacted, because this is something that we have not seen in 100 years. And whatever impacts those children had during the last global pandemic in 1918, I don't know if the data collection and these statistics were as robust as they are right now. To give another example, and also to piggyback on my morning show colleagues' topic, low academic performance now. And some people will be fine. They will, without reading at a very high level or knowing how to do really complex mathematics. Some folks are going to be okay. But for other people, you know what that translates into? Not being able to properly fill out and submit disaster relief applications in your 40s or your 50s. There's a direct correlation to that. If you did not perform well in school, you didn't do well in reading and math, you still graduated and you got a job, or maybe you just fell into some money, you never really had to work very much. But then when it comes to things where those reading skills and those critical thinking skills and that concentration is going to be necessary, you're going to fail. And so what we oftentimes do is we look at our community as less than because, oh, well, it's your fault. You didn't fill out the application. Oh, that's your fault. Some people don't know how. When I was chair of the Wisconsin State Elections Board, you know what one of the biggest barriers was? So it was a bipartisan board. It was 5 Democrats and 4 Republicans. The Democrats had the majority, and we basically presided over election law in the state of Wisconsin. But one thing that we did, and this is 20 years ago, but one thing that both us, the Democrats, and the Republicans who all sat on the Wisconsin State Elections Board had a focus on is that we didn't like how low voter turnout was. It bothered us, especially in elections where we thought that turnout should have been at least 70%. And Wisconsin, believe it or not, we are one of the top, we used to be top 2, I think we're in the top 5 still, of highest voter participation states, but even then it's still like 70%. That's too low. And we had a couple of elections when I was on the board where all of us, the Democrats and the Republicans, were shocked by how low turnout was. And so we started to investigate it, because if there was anything that we could do from the board's perspective to increase voter turnout, we're thinking like, oh, well, maybe we'll send out flyers to let people know that there's an election coming up. Or maybe we will authorize more money for those vote today, those placards you see, those yard signs you may see the days and weeks before an election. We're trying to figure out what we could do to increase voter turnout, because back then, both Democrats and Republicans were pro-democracy. Now it's only one political party. You know what we found out that was one of the largest predictors of someone's voter participation? Their ability to read the ballot. And we all were taken aback because there was a lot of other ancillary things that we could have done to boost voter turnout, 1% here, 1% there, do a little bit more public outreach, run some PSAs on local radio stations around the state to let folks know there's an election coming up. But there was not much that we could do as a board to increase people's literacy. Since then, we have seen a proliferation of referenda where they ask you a question. And it can be about, do you want your taxes to be raised so that we can have more money for public education? Do you want employees in the city of Milwaukee to get 5 paid sick days that employers have to pay for? We even had a referendum on the ballot about gay marriage going back a few decades. You ever notice why referenda questions are written the way they are? You know, it's a literacy test. It's not, hey, do you want your taxes to go up to give more money to the MPS babies, yes or no? It is, Wisconsin State Statute 3.21-45 says that upon recommendation of the legislature in 2 consecutive sessions has hereby now decided that this referendum, which may include bits and parts of Racine County and Germantown, respective to their municipal legislatures and the actions of their school boards, courtesy of statute 386858482, do hereby believe that in the increase of property taxes, which are done via the assessment, and if you have to have information on the assessment, go to your municipal clerk's office, but also in the state assembly, passed 3868528 bill, yes or no? That's your referendum question. They do that on purpose because only the people that have an incredibly high level of reading and critical thinking skills will even be able to get through the question, let alone answer it. So they're literally weeding out people that have less reading skills and answering questions properly, but that's not what the democracy is all about. Everybody at every skill level should be able to answer that question simple and plain as day, but they don't do it that way. So it's a covert way. We never would have did that. When I was on the board, I think we did have a gay marriage referendum in a couple of years that I was on the state elections board, but that was it. And that one was cut and dry. We didn't even try to trick nobody with that. Hey, is marriage between a man or a woman or nah? Yes or no? Real easy. We didn't. Per the Wisconsin State Statute and Federal Constitution, the 14th Amendment, in the institution of marriage sanctioned by the church but not church and state, yes or no? We didn't do all that. It was like, hey, should dudes be able to kick it with dudes and get all married? Should dudes have a dude bachelor party? Side note and question. How do gay men have bachelor parties? How? I never even thought about that. Did they go to strip clubs? How do they? Let's talk to Brian. Maybe Brian knows. Hi, Brian. How are you?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
And yuck.
Oh.
I got a quick question, though. Didn't we already have a dog park somewhere near downtown?
I don't know. I don't have a dog. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Did I hear you yesterday saying that they're building a dog park downtown?
Not only are they building, they're using money from MPS to do it. $2 million was allocated from MPS. I guess that happened last year. Slid under the radar. I didn't know about it, but yeah, they're going to make a dog park.
I don't understand that. We already have a park for dogs, and that's called the lakefront. I mean, that's where everybody takes their dog to the lakefront. There's plenty of open space right there to put a dog. Well, to put a dog park. I don't know why they would have something like that downtown.
White people.
There you go.
Yeah, they get what they want.
Yeah. Are you going to have that guy Marty call in today?
Marty can call in whenever he wants. When he calls in, it's not scheduled. He's just a listener of my show, and he chimes in when he feels it's appropriate. I'm glad he does because he gives us information that I didn't even know about.
Yeah. And you were about to touch on the way black folks dance nowadays. Yeah, it's gay.
Oh.
Have you seen Travis Hunter? The way Travis Hunter dances? That's what you're talking about, right? Where they swing the arms and the hips.
I don't know who Travis Hunter is. Who is he?
He's a football. He used to play with Deion Sanders. He's playing with the Jacksonville Jaguars now, and he dances like Ja Morant.
Travis Hunter just got drafted, Sherwin, from Colorado.
Yeah.
I don't know about the gayness of his dancing, so I don't know. But I'll take your word for it, Brian, because I believe you. If you say he's a gay dancer, I bet he dances real gay.
No, I said the dance itself is gay.
Well, that's the first step.
I called him.
Dancing is like the gateway drug to gayness. You know what I mean? That's how people. That's where it starts. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to call it out because that was your subject. That's why I called in, because you were scared to say something about it, and I was just going to call in and say, the dances that some of our guys do nowadays, it's gay. It's really silly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right then, Brian. Maybe I need a translator, because there are certain things that as a talk radio host I probably shouldn't say. I can think those things, but I probably shouldn't say them. So if you guys know that there's something that I'd like to say, but I can't say it, you guys can be my translators. Like that Key and Peele skit where Barack Obama had an anger translator, because Barack Obama couldn't really show any emotion because the stereotype of the angry black man likely would have stuck to him and could have hurt him politically. So there was this skit by these comedians, Key and Peele, where Barack Obama would say something that was, pretty plain, but then the translator would describe it in Ebonics with a very elevated tone on what Barack Obama really meant. Really, really funny skit. I'm sure some of you have seen it. Quote, just being in utero during a highly stressful time had some developmental effects on infants, said Danny, I got to pronounce his name right, Dimitriou. We're going to say Dimitriou, a pediatrician and neuroscientist at Columbia University and chair of an ongoing study on pandemic newborn babies. They weren't large effects, but that was a worrisome sign, given so many women gave birth during the pandemic. 3.6 million babies were born during the year 2020, and those babies are now currently right now this fall or upcoming fall are starting kindergarten. Dimitriou's research published in 2022 found that 6-month-old infants born during the early months of the pandemic had slightly lower scores on a screening of their gross motor, fine motor, and personal social skills compared with historical cohorts of infants born before the onset of COVID-19. So these kids are already slow. Quotes, we're talking about things like a baby being able to sit up, baby being able to reach for things, maybe engaging in a face-to-face interaction, very basic things, she said, explaining that mothers filled out a standard developmental questionnaire providing data for the study. Do you know how many of these kids I bet are going to get misdiagnosed as special ed and an MPS going to get IEPs, and some of these kids are going to be diagnosed as autistic because they were born during the pandemic when everything was isolated. Some of these children may not have developed some of their motor skills and their social skills. I am worried for this because Milwaukee don't need it. We do not need another generation of children starting school that are unprepared, mentally, academically, or physically. But Dimitriou said, as they've continued to track these children and expanded the study to include more kids born pre-pandemic, they have found that the COVID babies did catch up. Well, that's good to know. The good news is that it looks like the trend really is restricted to the early pandemic phase of 2020 and did not continue into 2021. A child's brain is extraordinarily plastic and malleable, she said. One of the important things about child development is what happens at 6 months is not predictive of what happens at 24 months, and it's not predictive of what happens at 5 years. So, okay, maybe some of the babies will be okay. Maybe some of them won't. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
We address people, young boys, as if they're grown when they're not. For me, they're not young men, they're young boys. And I think if we can keep them in that space, I can do a lot more with someone in middle school when I treat them as the boy that they are versus trying to make them men when they're not. And they probably have very few examples of that.
Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design.
Great impressions.
Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The next logical thing that I believe the Trump administration will attempt to do, and when I say logical, their logic, not ours, is have an impact on the 2026 election. So in the meantime, if they can create more Republican-leaning seats by diluting African-American congressional representation, they'll do that first. And the pushback is, it's minimal. Democrats have learned how to politically complain, but not necessarily turn those complaints into messaging that's populist in its flavor. Whether you like him or not, we're going to have some conversations about Gavin Newsom. He is fighting fire with fire unlike any other Democrat. Kamala didn't do it. Joe Biden didn't do it. Hakeem Jeffries didn't do it. Stacey Abrams didn't do it. They didn't do it. They didn't know how. Democrats have to tiptoe. They got to walk on eggshells. Democrats are too afraid of offending someone instead of being afraid of losing an election. Because now when we lose an election, we lose substantial amounts of progress in American society. Gavin Newsom is saying, okay, Texas, you want to play? We'll create 5 more Democratic and majority black congressional seats in California. So what representation will be lost in Texas is unfortunate. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional. It's a damn shame for black folks in Texas. But representation that will be lost in Congress in Texas will pick up in California. And you may not like it. You may not like Gavin Newsom. You may not like California. But at least he is saying, okay, Trump, you want to play? I can play too. You want to go to war? I take you to war. I'll get him on the show. I'll bet you dollars of donuts I get Gavin Newsom. What month is this? August. Give me 6 months. Let's see how stuff shapes out. You know what I mean? I'll get him. We're going to have to talk to him. He's going to be a front runner. And he should be. And we're not going to make this about him. We're going to make this about how he is taking it to Trump. Everybody is scared of Donald Trump. And I'm not over here professing to know why, but here's the one thing I'll say. They have reason to be. I don't know what those reasons are. The Republicans in the Texas state legislature are violating everything, their own moral code. They're violating their own oaths of office. They're violating the Texas state constitution. They're violating the will of the people. They're violating the U.S. Constitution. They're violating the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, and not even complaining about it. And the Republicans in the Texas State Senate are going to do the exact same thing. They're voting unanimously to break every rule and every law that this country upheld for 200 years. There has to be a compelling reason why. They're not just doing it just to do it. Because if we know something about Republicans, they can be loud, obnoxious, boisterous. They share their opinions just like anybody else does. But the fact that they're all falling in line like this, there is a reason. And here's the thing. We don't know what the reason is. So it's easy for us to say, oh, they're just a bunch of Trump flunkies and a bunch of Trump sycophants. Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're also clear-headed, intelligent, educated individuals. Some are lawyers. Some are constitutional scholars, but they are voting to break federal law and violate the Constitution. There's a reason why. I am here to find out that damn reason, because it's bigger than I think any of us can guess. Do you know how overwhelmingly intimidated I have to be to break every rule, every law, every moral code, every oath of office, all at the same time? You got to threaten my life. And at the end of the day, I may not even be able to live with myself if you intimidate me to that level to where I got to break all of those rules and laws and codes. You might as well just kill me. I don't ever want to be put in that position. And I'm not sticking up for them, but there is a reason why they are doing this. And that reason scares me to death. Hitler told men to murder other men, women, and children. I don't know what they were told, these people that were instructed. And during the Nuremberg trials, they were told we were just following orders. There's something eerily similar going on that one man can tell, who I believe are decent people, that got elected to do right by not just the people that voted for them, but everybody in the states in which they represent. I believe that these people, when they put their hand on that Bible and they took that oath to their state constitution and to the U.S. Constitution, I actually believe them, or at least I believe them in that moment. And for these people to, in front of our faces and publicly, say that they are going to take representation away from black people in Congress and give it to Donald Trump I can't wrap my head around that. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on space. I don't know why. I'm fascinated by space. And a lot of these scientists and these physicists, these PhDs from these fancy universities, They're basically saying, like, yeah, we're real smart, and we can't even begin to conceptualize how big the universe is. It's big to a degree that the human brain is not even equipped to understand. I feel like that right now when it comes to what is driving these people to eliminate everything that they and we and the Constitution hold near and dear. There is something, and it ain't just racism. Because racism doesn't work if it isn't productive. Like, some people are racist because they're dumb. Some people are racist because it's worth money, because it's worth status, because it's worth, I don't know, attention or something. Like, it has to be some kind of a payoff. Otherwise, it's not really worth it. All right, let's talk to Marty. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning, Sherwin. Thank you very much for taking my call. What you're talking about is very important. It's the most important thing going on in the country. I'm afraid I'm just a local guy, and if I may, in a half hour in Milwaukee, we are going to eliminate the only recreational site on the northwest side. If you go to Good Hope Road and you go all the way to the county line to the north, you go to 60th Street, you go all the way to 91st Street in the west. That's a 4 by 4 square miles, 16 square miles. The only recreational site is at Cudahy Farms YMCA, and I've talked about it before. It's all wooded and birds and frogs and wetlands and on and on and on. And in a half hour, they're going to vote on whether or not to eliminate this recreational site.
Marty,
and make it into a gated community.
Is this a committee of alder persons that are making this vote? And if so, what committee is that?
No, I appreciate that. It's complicated. I'm sorry for that, but this is the committee. This is that secret meeting. You have the county, and I talked to David Crowley last night, so he's aware of this. I talked to Kevin Schaefer at MMSD. He's aware of this. I talked to everybody at the city knows about this. MPS, I talked to the superintendent at MPS. All of the, and I also talked to emailed the president of NATC. Those are the 5 entities that will vote in a half hour as to whether to give this bad development property tax breaks, abeyance of property taxes for the next 20 years. And in using that property tax money, he gets to cut down a forest and kill off a wetland. This is a bad project, and this is all happening. And if I may, just the people that are involved, this is a who's who. As you're talking about, everybody's getting on board and following a leader at the federal level. You don't have to go to the federal to see the same junk going on, because right here in Milwaukee, you got the planning commission was behind this, and they disrespected the older woman, Larissa Taylor. The only time in 26 years I've ever seen an alder ask for a delay, and the planning commission denied it. It was completely disrespectful. And that's Stephanie Bloomington. She didn't have a concern about this northwestern property in the African American predominantly community. But I'll tell you, Sherwin, if this piece of property was on the east side, if it was in Bayview, if it was over by Jackson Park, this would be revered. They would build around this, and this is all happening. And we've got a bunch of people involved. And one other thing.
Do you know the names of the individuals that are on this quote-unquote secret meeting, number one? Number two, when they render their decision, this committee, does it have the full force and weight of an ordinance, or does their recommendation go to the council? Or is this the decision-making authority on whether to move forward with Cudahy Farms destruction?
Again, Sherwin, that is exactly the correct question. God bless you for asking that, because what they've done is they've turned the process around a little bit. So this went to the Planning Commission over 2 years ago. Sure, we held this up by just our loud voices, and now it's all changed, and the whole process is messed up. No, they put today's vote at the end of the process. So the Common Council and the Rackham Authority and the Planning Commission, they all signed off on this prior to today's vote. It is absurd in the manner that they do that.
So this will be approved
It's
once they
backward.
vote today.
That is correct.
Do we know who the people are that are casting those votes?
Well, as I said, I went right to the top person, and then they obviously send an assignee to make their cursory vote. It's usually just a rubber stamp, Sherwin. I've almost never seen anyone vote against anything that comes out of this committee, this secret meeting committee.
So
that's where
question,
we're at.
and then okay, appreciate it, Marty. So my question, though, if you can find this out, is does the results of this vote move to the 15-person council? Does it move to that body?
No, it will not.
Okay. Marty, keep us informed, please.
You bet.
All right, thank
My
you.
pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right. Oh, good Lord. Oh, I just can't rest. I can't. Okay, let me take a break. Come back. Nikki, hold on, Nikki. I see you're on hold. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back. We'll talk to Nikki. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Educators Credit Union, our members are our purpose. As a credit union, we're more than a financial. We're people helping people. We aren't concerned about profits or the bottom line of shareholders, because our greatest reward is you achieving your financial dreams through lower rates, free financial resources, and award-winning member service. Experience more heart and less hassle by making the switch today. Achieve more at ECU.com. Educators Credit Union. Achieving more together. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
Summer in Milwaukee is nonstop. Festivals, live music, and fresh city vibes fill the season you already know. From world-famous cultural celebrations to hidden gem street fairs, every neighborhood is a stage, alive with handcrafted traditions, homegrown talent, and world-class entertainment. Music, flavor, culture, whenever you visit, the Cream City is ready to celebrate. This summer, don't just visit. Make sure you experience Milwaukee, the city of festivals.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
I want you to really stress the importance of having an ethnically diverse blood supply. But I guess, what do you say to people that, for whatever reason, are apprehensive about giving blood?
It's not by accident that we are building this fixed donation site right in the heart of this Halyard Park, Harambe neighborhood. And to your point, our black and brown donors probably represents the smallest demographic in our donor base. That's attributed to multiple reasons. For those of us that understand the history, there is a lot of underlying mistrust of the healthcare system. And quite frankly, there's already challenges with how busy people are, how accessible they are to even know where to go to donate blood. And let's face it, a lot of folks are scared of needles, right? But when they get through all of that, the importance, I think, is a heavier burden on our black and brown communities, because there are a lot of different blood diseases that require what I'll call more of a match in blood that only comes from people of similar ethnicities. Something that's specific to our black donors and patients is something that I think your listeners are very familiar with: sickle cell disease. The only therapy that get them through their day-to-day life is blood transfusions. And it's not just a what I'll call average or normal blood type or blood transfusion. It's actually a specific blood with a specific type called RO blood. And this RO blood typically only comes from people of African descent and Hispanic descent. And so that's why it's so important that our donor base is diverse, so that it helps our ethnically diverse patient population.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. I'm going to do a deep dive into what is happening in Texas and how they can just take political representation from black people. And because we have a lot of people that are active and that are engaged and that are voters that know about the process and know that a lot of the gains that we have made as black people, most of which we take for granted. In fact, we're angry that we haven't made more gains, but a lot of what we have gained has been through our political representation, using laws, creating laws, in some cases executive orders by the right kinds of presidents, et cetera, et cetera. Like that has helped propel us forward. But for some people, it hasn't done enough because there's still black poverty and misery and racial discrimination. So they turn themselves off completely to politics. And there's not enough loud voices to bring awareness and attention to how they are taking black representation because we stop seeing the importance of it. Some of us now shifted our mindset into individuality, into making money, into being famous and screw everything else. But even those individuals know that they will be brought to heel when African-American voices in the legislative process goes from a loud lion's roar to the pin drop on a piece of cotton. Let's talk to Nikki. You're on 101.7 The Truth. Thank you for calling. Thank you for holding. How are you, Nikki?
No problem, Sherwin. I'm doing fine, and thank you so much for taking my call. I kind of want to just add in a comment. I love how Governor Newsom is fighting back with, against what Donald Trump is trying to do in Texas. And I think it's really gutsy. We know that Trump is a bully, and oftentimes the way that you beat a bully is to beat them at their own game. So I love the fact that he isn't afraid. So I guess my question could be rhetorical, right? Knowing that Wisconsin currently has a Democratic governor, and Wisconsin was also pivotal, right, with getting Donald Trump into his position. I just wonder, why is Wisconsin so quiet? Because if I'm not mistaken, Governor Newsom did ask for other, governors who were Democrats, right, to kind of help him and join the fight. And if I'm not mistaken, Illinois, was most definitely supportive when you had, the elected officials who left to make sure that they could not vote on the redistricting map for Texas. And then you also had Minnesota governor help. But I guess my question would be why is Wisconsin so quiet? And why, I just wonder. It doesn't seem like I'm hearing anything.
When you say Wisconsin is quiet, why are we not doing the same thing? Why are we not creating Democratic districts?
Yeah, so why are we doing the same thing? Why are we fighting back like Governor Newsom is fighting back? I'm just wondering.
Because in Texas, in order to do this, you would need a Republican majority in the legislature. They've got what you call a trifecta. They got a Republican governor, a Republican General Assembly, and a Republican Senate. Here, we only have a Republican governor. Tony Evers can propose all the maps he wants to. Robin Vos and the Republicans and Devin LeMahieu in the Senate will shut it down immediately. Now, what might happen is the Republicans in the legislature will follow suit and try and take black political representation from Milwaukee and create more Republican districts. Now, Tony Evers would veto that, but we don't have what we call a triplex. California has it. California's got Democrats in control of their assembly, their Senate, and they've got Gavin Newsom as governor. They can do whatever the hell they want to in California, and they will. But because we don't have that triplex, it is not in the cards for us to do so.
Okay. No, and thank you for providing that clarification, because I was wondering, why aren't we saying anything? And even for the governor, I know that he mentioned that he's not running for another term, but at least let us know, for those of us that supported and voted him in, right? At least let us know that he's not in agreement with this, or say something or do something. So thank you for that. I was just wondering, because I'm like, Wisconsin's a little quiet than it should be at this point. But that would make sense why they're quiet, because, who has the upper hand in the state. Thank you, Sherman.
Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate your call. And Tony Evers wouldn't do it anyway, because in order to do a mid-decade gerrymander, you would have to break all of the rules, all of the laws, and several oaths. You'd be violating the Voting Rights Act. You'd be violating the 14th Amendment. Do you guys understand the Voting Rights Act was a direct relation and correlation to the Civil Rights Movement? Like Bloody Sunday, the Edmund Pettus Bridge, the Voting Rights Act resulted from that. The 14th Amendment is the damn amendment that freed us. The Republicans are violating both of those in our faces. Now look here now. Y'all can do whatever you want. But black folks that voted for Trump, don't run from this. Don't run from it. You got to take responsibility for what you did. And I don't care what your reasons were. And most of the time, if you talk to a black Republican or a black Trumper as to why they voted for, and now they're all denying it. Or now they're all trying to be, well, I didn't know. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You just didn't think that Kamala was credible. You didn't think that those of us that have been trying to tell y'all that they're coming for us, y'all didn't believe it. Because Trump mesmerized you and hypnotized you and took advantage of you because of your pain and your hurt and your grievances. Donald Trump convinced your black ass that he would be your retribution. You was a new fool. Don't run from it now. And see, I'm also noticing, because y'all think that Sherwin is stupid. You think I haven't listened to people talk? You think I haven't listened to people when they was bragging because they wanted, I think a lot of it was attention too. They wanted to be the rebel. Yeah, I'm a black Trumper. I heard them talking favorably about Trump. And I ain't even talking about Tory. I'm talking about other people that are equally as deceptive. They think I don't remember. And now all of a sudden you call them out on it. No, I did not. Yes, you did. You're responsible for this. Now, you don't get to, you're an adult. You made that, you went in that voting booth. You was big and bold and mighty. Yeah, you went in there. You was, Trump. He's going to take your mama's Medicaid. People are going to lose their food share benefits. And if we dare complain about it, we will have less voices in Congress to do so. Oh, reparations? Who do you think would be the representatives that would put together the legislation, that would put together the bill? If I hear another black Republican or a black Trumper ever talk about reparations, I might want to put your black ass in slavery. I might buy you. Because you might be better off as a damn slave as you are someone who's supposed to be uplifting the legacy of your people. They're doing this in your face. And you got to take some responsibility for it. I know you don't want to, but in 2025, we don't let people run from their responsibility. Even though you didn't know Trump was going to do this. Don't matter. Don't matter. He did it. And the only other direct connection I can make is you voted for him, so you will be, in one form or another, supportive of everything that man does in 4 years, assuming he leaves in 4 years. Let's talk to another non-voter who put us in this situation. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm fine, Cheryl. How are you?
The same.
Well, just for your information, I've been seriously considering voting, just so you can calm down a
Lisa,
little bit.
Hold on. Don't do. I'm gonna tell you what. Don't do it, because it's too late, and don't do it for me. That's almost embarrassing for you to say that you would do that.
No, it's not doing it for you.
Do it for your people. Do it for our representation. Do it for everybody that fought and died before. Don't do it for me. I'd rather you not do it at all.
I'm not. Sherwin, I don't do anything for no one other than myself. Now, if Governor Newsom, which I believe would be the presidential runner-elect, now, I will vote for Governor Newsom if he runs, which I believe he is. He's the forerunner. Everybody's looking at him. He's stepping out. He's the only one that's going against Trump and will willingly go against him with no problem at all. He's an innovator. Look at California. Look at all the things they're doing in California. So I would seriously vote for Governor Newsom if he was running, which I do believe he will be running. The reason why I believe the Democrats are over there because they want that FEMA money. They want that FEMA money. Did they get? I think they said they got some FEMA money. Somebody's up here looking. They only looked at 200 houses or can look at 200 houses or something like that for the FEMA money. So they want that FEMA money because if you're not a Republican state, Trump is not going to give it to you. Isn't that crazy? Wow.
It's not crazy at all. Mm-hmm. It's on brand.
Okay, let me ask you something, Sherwin. Okay, now, if I'm not mistaken, the president can only have two, what you call it? In other words, 8 years of two elects, right, for president, right? He can only run 2 times, right?
Correct.
If I'm not mistaken, right, by the Constitution, right? So why is everybody afraid that he can go in the third time and win the third time?
Because the Constitution says duly elect. The Constitution doesn't matter anymore, Lisa. It's a worthless document.
Right.
Doesn't matter. So whatever it says doesn't. That they're violating the 14th Amendment in our faces. So the Constitution is just. If you set it on fire, that's about what it's worth. So it's not. Isn't worth it. But it's in the Constitution. It even says, because there's a loophole in how it's written. No president shall be elected no more than 2 times, meaning Trump, here's a scenario that's likely. Trump says, I want to be president in the 3rd term, but you guys can't vote for me. Trump steps down or doesn't run for a 3rd term. Trump and all of his levers of government, including changing ballots at the voting booth, elect J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is the president of the United States. J.D. Vance then can select Donald Trump to be his vice presidential running mate. J.D. Vance steps down. Donald Trump is the president for a 3rd term, but Donald Trump wasn't elected. J.D. Vance was. We can elect someone. These Republicans are so, and I hate to keep using the word sycophantic, but it's the only word that actually fits. They are so blindly following Trump that he could find someone that could run and win and step down and give the presidency back to him. That is conceivable.
Well, Vance is evil, but anyhow, if he's going to break the Constitution, and like you said, it's not worth anything. People, do y'all go ahead on and rob banks, break the Constitution all day and call it?
Lisa, no, that's not how that works. In an oligarchical society, they'll still kill people. Like if people think like, oh, it's anarchy now because Trump broke the Constitution. Why do you think the military is starting to be rolled out? I got to take a break though, Lisa. Appreciate your call. I can't talk to her forever. Why do you think Donald Trump is experimenting with rolling the military out? Because at some point, somebody's going to say, wait a minute, Trump isn't following the rules. How about we don't follow the rules either? And it's much more of a disaster if we, the body politic, the public, the citizenry of this great nation, if we break the rules, it's a much, much, much bigger problem because there's 340 million of us. It's only one of him. So he needs the military to be in cities that are most likely to act a fool. And those are blue cities, Democratic cities, in blue states with Democratic governors and black people. A lot of black people that season their food and love watermelon. I love watermelon. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Ride the wave to clean at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for a winning shine. Become a monthly member and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 per day. Plus, skip the wait in the fast lane and enjoy unbeatable amenities like free vacuums and tire air. Visit any of their convenient locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Literally one call, that's all. I made one call and that's all, worry-free.
One call, that's all. It worked.
Just one call and that's all.
They will do what they say they're going to do. One call and that's all.
One call, that's all means security.
It's literally one call, that's all.
It's a phrase we'll never forget.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. It all started with a new invention in 1925, the roll screen. The ability to roll a window screen up and down like a shade. Pella invested in this breakthrough when the business was born in Pella, Iowa, and has introduced the world to innovation, game-changing decisions ever since. They've been at it for a century. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, it's easy to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home, and always designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance. The Pella team takes pride in constructing quality windows and doors with meticulous attention to every detail. Investing in new Pella windows and doors creates long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years. There's no reason to wait, because if you order by August 31st, get 0% interest for up to 60 months. Certain restrictions apply. Yes, that's up to 5 years with no interest payments, so don't miss out. Visit PellaWI.com today.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah. Ricky on the decks, got the bass line thumping. In his pocket cashews, always something munching. Almonds in the booth while the crowd keeps jumping. Pistachio dreams, got the rhythm pumping. Ricky spin the tracks, got the nuts in his stash. Peanuts in his palm while the vinyl go flash. Macadamia grooves, hazelnut dash. Ricky and his nuts, always got the stash. Walnuts in his hoodie, mixing beats so clean. Scratching on the records, pecan routine. Brazil nut bounce in the club supreme. DJ Ricky dropping nuts like a snack machine. Ricky loved the crunch, he had a flavor.
I didn't know he said that in the song.
Yeah, we gotta get that packaged and marketed. Ricky's Nuts.
He said you drop nuts like a snack machine. That is a very creative bar. Look at that. Go ahead and ding yourself, sir. Yeah, I had to so I have this, I wish y'all could see what I see. So I get on these like tears where I'm like super creative and I just get an idea. I'm like, oh, how would AI turn this ridiculous idea into a song? And I have got a library of like, the reason why I couldn't find it yesterday and why I thought I deleted it is because I have so many songs that it takes forever to load. And these computers in the studio are fast. But once I let it load all of the songs that I created. Zach, I made a song for you too. I don't know where it is. It's in here somewhere. This is the full list. I made a song for Dr. Ken. What is this one here? Is this my theme? This my current theme?
Sherwin on the mic, better tune in now. Milwaukee Flame, he be holding it down.
I like this one better.
In the biz, put respect on the name. Whole nation know he ahead of the game. Sherwin on the mic, better tune in.
Well, how in the hell did I not use this one? We playing this one tomorrow. It's fire, ain't it, Zach? This is more fire than what I got now.
Ahead of the game.
Turn the dial up, it's that power in the voice.
Well, it must not have made the cut.
He never had a choice. Milwaukee on the map, he connecting all the noise.
This one is way older.
Real, never playing with the toys.
Well, that's enough of that. So I got my AI library back. All right, how much time I got? I guess I can get started. Here's what happened in Texas. In 2021, after the census, Texas gained 2 new congressional seats because the state's population grew a lot. The growth was almost entirely from Black, Latino, and Asian residents. So from our friends and our family that we all know, like my cousin moved to Texas, and she's got 5 kids. So she increased the population of African Americans by 6 people when she moved to Texas. And a lot of African Americans that I know from here. Cat I grew up with, a listener of the show, my guy Telly, he moved down to Texas. I think he's in Austin now. A bunch of people moved down there. So in the African-American migration back toward the South, which is nothing new to a lot of us because a bunch of people are sick of the upper Midwest and have decided to move back down South. Maybe it was the weather. Maybe it's because the cost of living is a lot cheaper in the South, or because we're sick of upper Midwestern white people's BS. They're the worst. They're the worst. In the South, it's either you know where you stand with people, right? You know that they're cool with you, or they're not, and they make it clear. Up here, everybody is smiling in your face. And I get it, why people would want to be around the racism that you can clearly identify. Here you can't. Because racism here is friendly. Racism here invites you to happy hour and will record everything you say and get you written up and fired. So I get it. And so many of our folks moved down to Texas. In fact, Texas got 2 new congressional districts, mostly African American, Latino, and Asian. Logically, new districts should have reflected that population growth by giving minority communities more chances to elect candidates of their choice. But here's what happened in the Republican-led legislature. Instead of creating new majority-minority districts, they redrew the maps in Texas in ways that actually reduced the political power of Black and Latino voters. For example, around Dallas, Houston, and Austin, where Black and Latino populations grew the most, were sliced up and attached to more rural, predominantly white, Republican conservative areas, thus diluting minority voting power, making it harder for Black and Latino communities to elect candidates who represent their interests. I'm going to leave it there, pick it back up for hour 3. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, please join us at our 3rd annual Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School. Admission to Truth Family Fest is absolutely free and a great place to have fun and celebrate with family and friends while also enjoying some great music and amazing food. Also, everyone in attendance will have a chance to win some great prizes, including backpacks for the kids, so make sure to save the date for our 3rd annual Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School. Truth Family Fest is presented by Crash Course Driver Education Center and U.S. Cellular. Also sponsored by Landmark Credit Union, Milwaukee Public Schools, U.S. Bank, Gruber Law Offices, Big Frog, Milwaukee Area Technical College, Educators Credit Union, and Riverside University High School. Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School.
Tired of hearing no from other banks? No to a loan? No to a checking account? Just no? At Brewery Credit Union, we find ways to say yes. Yes to second chances. Yes to rebuilding credit. Yes to helping you save, borrow, and thrive. Work with our credit specialists and move your financial life forward. Brewery Credit Union, Milwaukee's best place to borrow and save. Visit brewerycu.com. That is brewerycu.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
An unsuspecting driver at a gas station in Wisconsin.
Welcome, Pump 15. How you doing?
Great.
Were you wearing your seatbelt today?
I never wear my seatbelt.
We're going to get him. We're going to get him real good.
Oh, my goodness.
Hello, sir. How you doing? Donald Driver. It takes 1 second to strap a seatbelt on. Well, let's do this. Let's do it together. Now, don't that feel better?
Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways.
And I should have recognized your voice when you're harassing.
I'm watching you.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
The biggest snowflakes out here are always been the white Republicans who are so gung-ho on protecting the feelings of white kids while they ignore the needs of other kids. If Milwaukee's youth has a problem with fighting, well, white youth have a problem with being destructive and offensive. So it is sad that our government is actively working to de-emphasize educating and uplifting students of color in different backgrounds on college campuses. That emphasis is going to be diminished, and the only kids that will suffer will be our kids. They were willing to hold up the advancement of the state of Wisconsin because they disagree with DEI. What are white Republicans afraid of? Why are they afraid to face the fact that their grandmas and grandpapas were part of a system which purposely held black folks back and failed to give us the access that we deserve? Until these politicians stop ignoring these egregious acts of hate and racial incidents, America can never be great again.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. You are listening to the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
don't lie.
You know what this is, don't you?
Stars are winking.
Hour 3 of The Truth with me, Sherwin Hughes.
Every word you speak is caramel slow.
This is the remix.
Sticky sweet. Where does this go?
Of a song that I made
Touch is velvet. Your
while Al was on our line. He was talking, and while he was talking, I didn't want to interrupt him, and so I made a song.
honey iced tea.
It's called Sugar Honey Iced Tea.
You're the spell that's got me.
You can't tell me this ain't a banger.
Sugar honey iced tea.
Come on, man, stop it.
Melt my heart and set me free.
Let me say something.
Oh, sugar honey iced
I like how she said, "Oh, Sugar Honey Iced Tea."
Fire.
It really is, and this was the remix. I gotta scroll down. I don't know how far to find the original version. This one is cold. And I'll tell you what, Al, if you want this song for your like marketing and promotion, like Al, I'll give you this song and let you promote it like on Spotify, because I think that song, I think it would do some numbers. But yeah, that was I created that with AI. So I'm not gonna be afraid of AI. I'm gonna use it and use it to my advantage as best I possibly can. And if it's creating music or helping me with research, I'm going to do that. Let's talk to. Hello, Linda.
Good morning, Professor. Good
Linda.
morning, Good Comer Brands. And good morning to all the beautiful black and white people of Milwaukee and America. Hey, Sherwin.
Linda, you're going to have to revamp your intro. I want you to remove saying, just remove saying good morning to Good Karma Brands and replace it with something else. I'm just saying, you don't have to say good morning to the whole corporation.
I didn't want to go there, but I still been hearing some things about, like with the cancellation of Carrie and Ben. I'm like really surprised at that, because they bring such, joy and happiness at the start of the morning. And I just thought, wow, that must have been something
Linda,
to do with money.
You don't know you don't know the half of it. I'm going to be honest with y'all. This place is hollow without them. There's a hole in this place without them being here. We all feel it.
I imagine, because that's what youth bring. They bring the, that newness, that freshness, and that inspiration and that motivation that we need in the morning. So that's why I think it was just, probably money, budget. But, it just seems to be some tension going on with Good Comer Brand and the staff, or at least the whole, the I don't know what you call you guys, but, I can sense it through the airwaves, but because you keep saying I may be fired today, and I'm like, what's going on at Good Comer Brand at 101? But anyway, that's that's just y'all, that's y'all experience. Just be prepared to bring the facts, the political news to Milwaukee audience, because we need it. Y'all deal with what y'all got to deal with, but bring the facts and the truth to the when it's time to show up, because we rely on that information. I know I do, because it gives me clarity, political clarity, and it informs me, and it informs my decision and my conversation with other people. So I depend on 101.2 to bring the truth and the facts, with some entertainment and some laughter with it, and some sexiness too.
I'll see that.
But
you see why you got to bring the freak stuff up, Linda. Why you got to bring up the freaky freak?
But when you talk about because what JD was saying in the talk chat the other day, that's what we like. We like the sexual conversations, and we like the political news.
And the two don't even really mix. Unless it's a political sex scandal, which Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, but usually our sexy conversations about freakiness don't really intersect very much with public policy and elections and campaigns. But I don't know. We make it work.
But they are freaks. They are pedophiles and freaks. And so we all know that, and we need to call it what it is, for real.
Right.
We got a lot of government officials holding power that participate with Epstein's clientele, and so that bothers me as a woman, as a girl child growing up in this country, and being exposed to childhood sexual assault and all of that. You don't know the trauma that a woman feels being around men that she cannot trust or feel protected. That's horrible. That's horrible. On a job, in a family, in the church, in society, wherever she go, she got to feel some sense of lack of safety around men who are pedophiles and like to take the innocence of a child. That's just beyond conscionable to me. That you got people like that in office and in power that's drawing up bills, taking away things from children like their innocence, like security of just having a meal in school. Children should not even be charged to eat at school. Come on. I'm trying to tell you, there's just so much attached to that amount of money that comes with the child that I just feel it's wrong. It's wrong. That tax code that is attached to that child's money is wrong. We should not be paying a teacher's salary, janitor's salary, principal's salary out of a child's federal allotment for his education. Come on now. I'm going off, but when you said that if someone should burn the Constitution, that's what it is, I screamed because it appears that way with Donald Trump. But for the good faith legislators that is protecting our democracy, I'd say, we need to support them because they are trying to protect our democracy and our freedom, man. For real. This is more dangerous than we realized. And I also wanted to introduce what they're doing to New York and California, the teacher's ideology test, that she cannot get a job unless she show patriotism to America's ideology. So she got to take an ideology test. Hello? Man.
Yeah, it's rough. It's unfortunate.
It's getting more and more dangerous.
Because Kamala would have been worse, apparently. That's what they thought. So here we are.
Mm. Yeah, and every time I see something like that, when a white person or a person in Facebook comment is in denial, I remind them of the 34 felony accounts, twice impeached, pedophile, and rapists that they chose to govern this country.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
All right, now work on your intro. You need to change it. Remix the intro. I got a couple things here. I got to finish talking about the implications of Texas. But before we do that, Ricky, you see the shirt? You see? You can't really see it on YouTube. Zoom in on it, man. You can't see it because it's kind of bleeding, or at least you can't see it. You see what it say, Ricky? Can't see it. Get in there. Yeah, get in there. There it is. That's all it needs to say. Yeah. Tell you what. Hey, don't look at my breasts. I took my shirt off on the air before. Ain't that crazy? And I didn't get fired for that. Y'all remember when the naked people was in here when we was promoting naked bike ride? Side note on that. I don't think I'm going to go to another naked bike ride. I tried it. I went to the little site they had. It wasn't what I thought. It was not.
How was it, Sherwin?
Lot of tallywhackers. A lot. Like the most. I've never been in a men's locker room that crowded full of tallywhackers. Yeah. So when you go to a grocery store or whatever, and you go in the produce section, right?
Where is this going?
You know where it's going.
Don't take it there.
I'm just trying to do a comparison so that people can get the visual, because if you weren't there, you would have no idea. So I want to use a comparison, and the grocery store is a place that pretty much everybody has been at some point in their life. You know how when they freshly stock the cucumbers and they be in stacks and rows and stacks and stacks and stacks, and you got to be careful when you grab a cucumber, because if you grab one, you will be inundated with cucumbers. Next thing you know, you'll just be in a pile of cucumbers with your head sticking out. That is what the naked bike ride was. It was a bunch, except the cucumbers were pink. No, they were. And it was, I didn't like, yeah, it was many of those. I didn't like it a lot. It was, what? Yeah. In 2021, after the census, Texas gained 2 new congressional seats because the state's population grew a lot. That growth was mostly entirely from Black, Latino, and Asian residents, and not from white residents. Logically, new districts should have reflected that population growth by giving minority communities more chances to elect candidates of their choice. But here's what the Republican-led legislature did instead. They created, creating new majority-minority districts, they redrew the maps in ways that actually reduced the political power of those new Black and Latino residents and voters. For example, in areas around Dallas, Houston, and Austin, where Black and Latino populations grew the most, were sliced up and attached to more rural, predominantly white conservative Republican areas. This diluted minority voting power, making it harder for Black or Latino communities to elect candidates who represent their interests. Imagine a neighborhood where most of the residents are Black and vote in similar ways. If you keep that neighborhood together in one district, they can likely elect someone who represents them. But in Texas, lawmakers split those neighborhoods into different districts and combine them with mostly white suburban or rural voters. Now the minority vote gets outnumbered in every single district, and their influence shrinks. This is called cracking a community. Another tactic is called packing, where minority voters are shoved into one district so they can win that single seat, but they lose influence everywhere else. In the Dallas-Fort Worth area, a district where Black and Latino voters had been influential was redrawn to make white Republican voters more dominant. In Houston, a heavily Black neighborhood was split apart and attached to conservative suburbs statewide, even though minorities drove 95% of Texas's population growth. I got to read that again. Minorities drove 95% of the population growth in the state of Texas. They ended up with 0 additional districts reflecting their growth. As more Black people move to a city, a county, or a state, what results is more Black political representation, so our thoughts, feelings, sentiments, policy ideas are reflected in the state's legislature and in the House of Representatives. What the Republicans are doing is they are shrinking our ability to, and here's the thing, they tell us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, but they keep taking our boots. And so what do? We just buy another pair of boots, buy another pair of boots, buy another pair of boots. They take those too. It also gives a snapshot into how America actually works. We thoroughly believe that everything that we have achieved as Black people, from freedom and emancipation to opportunities to be able to go to school, send our kids to schools, to live wherever we want, to not have to face discrimination anywhere, to not be racially profiled, to not face discrimination on a job. We believe that we earned all of those things, and they are ours permanently because we did it the right way, and we marched and we protested and we voted and we were patient and we went to jail and we died. We believe that everything that we have attained, which is still not equal to them, but we believe that we have earned it all. We have it. They gave it to us. And now they're taking it away. And in the meantime, we can't stop it. I just need people to understand that. You can tell one of these congressional Republicans, one of these Trumpers, hey, black people earned the right to be represented in Congress. They will look you dead in your face and say, no, you didn't. We allowed it. Now we're disallowing it because now we feel threatened by you. And you can say, oh, yeah, well, you can't do that because that's unconstitutional. They will pull out a copy of the Constitution and rip it up in front of your face and throw the shreds of paper at your feet and ask us, what are we going to do about it? We believe that we have earned it. They believe that they gave it to us. Now they're taking it away. When I talk about institutional and structural racism, I think that sometimes flies over people's heads. The heads that I wanted to reach, it flies over. Just like when Kamala was saying, we're going to lose our democracy, which is a huge issue, was a huge issue, is a huge issue, but it doesn't win elections. You can threaten people all day long. They're not going to believe it until they see it. We're going to lose our democracy. You're correct, Kamala. But for most people, they have no idea what that means. They don't know what that looks like, what that feels like. Well, now we're starting to get a little bit of a taste of it. And I don't even know how to put it to words. So while I figure out the words, I'm going to take a break. Come back and get into the details of even Republicans holding Democratic members of the Texas state legislature, the Democrats, hostage. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, my name is Noor, and I am proud to be a Riverside University High School Tiger. As a rising sophomore, I am excited to get involved in many opportunities. RUHS offers like advanced placement classes, sports, and student council. But what I love about Riverside most is that Riverside University High School makes everyone feel welcome and provides students with lots of opportunities. On Saturday, August 23rd, from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock, join us at Riverside for the Truth Family Fest. We will have entertainment, food trucks, and vendors. See you there.
It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. It all started with a new invention in 1925, the roll screen. The ability to roll a window screen up and down like a shade. Pella invested in this breakthrough when the business was born in Pella, Iowa, and has introduced the world to innovation, game-changing decisions ever since. They've been at it for a century. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, it's easy to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home, and always designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance. The Pella team takes pride in constructing quality windows and doors with meticulous attention to every detail. Investing in new Pella windows and doors creates long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years. There's no reason to wait, because if you order by August 31st, get 0% interest for up to 60 months. Certain restrictions apply. Yes, that's up to 5 years with no interest payments, so don't miss out. Visit PellaWI.com today.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. We've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Asking why every word you speak is caramel slow, sticky sweet. Where does this go? Your touch is velvet, your voice.
This kind of sounds like. What's the R&B singer name? Her name is Jasmine something. Jasmine. You know what I'm talking about? No? Jennifer Hudson? Jasmine Crockett? No, that's a member of the Texas congressional delegation. Jasmine, y'all, who is the R&B lady? Her name is Jasmine. It kind of sounds like this lady. Ricky, you a DJ. Who is she?
It's not Jasmine. She sounds like Mariah the Scientist.
Huh?
Mariah the Scientist. That's Young Thug's girlfriend.
I don't know who the hell that is. Look at Al calling right now. So while Texas got more seats in Congress, Republicans designed the maps to make sure those seats went to mostly white majority Republican districts. Minority communities in the state of Texas grew, but their political power shrank. So when they told us that we were crazy for Republicans fearing the Great Replacement Theory, they're going to deny it, but they're going to legislate like they really are truly afraid of it. They're afraid of being a minority in their own country. And rightfully so, because when you're in a minority, nobody cares about you. Nobody listens to you. You don't have the votes. You don't have the power. You can't move the needle if you're a minority. Why do you think that they essentially tried to outlaw abortion? Why do you think that they went to such great lengths to prevent Barack Obama from getting a Supreme Court selection? And Donald Trump got 3. And who did Donald Trump pick? You can just look at the objective fact. Take whatever partisan slant you think I may have, take that out. They violated the rules and the laws and the duties of the Senate by denying Barack Obama a Supreme Court pick. Donald Trump gets elected. Donald Trump gets 3 picks. All of them during their testimony, these Donald Trump selections. So Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, and, oh, damn it, somebody else. Can't think of his name. They all testified and said, no, Roe versus Wade is settled law, until the case arrived in their lap, and then they overturned Roe versus Wade, turning abortion back over to the states. If you turn certain things over to the states will revert back to where they were prior to slavery ending. So you had some states that outlawed abortion. Now there were some court battles, et cetera, et cetera. But who was having more abortions in this country? If Black, Asian, and Latinas were the only ones having abortions, they would be free. If Black, Asian, and Latina women were the only ones having an abortion, they could get an abortion with a sign-up for Netflix. But white women are having more abortion, and you can see the demographics of this country changing. And when the demographics of the country changes, when you get more population, as the rules are written, you get more representation. We could get to a point in this country where the majority of the governors, the majority of the mayors, the majority of the U.S. senators, and the majority of the members of the House of Representatives are all people of color. Not always Black, but a lot more Black. Not always Latino, but a lot more Latino, a lot more Asian. And those people who are the majority in this country or will have political representation reflecting the population. That's just how it moves. That is how the rules are written. Now, white people thought they'd be in control forever. And they realized they've hurt a lot of people. They've screwed a lot of things up. They have been blind to objective fact. They have not done the right thing. Some of them have not been on the right side of history. And they fear that when we get the political power that they have and use and abuse, that we're going to use it and abuse it against them. And so they're trying to stop it. So as minority populations grow in Texas, they are not giving the corresponding representation in congressional seats that Black people and brown people are owed because they don't want to be a minority in their own country. Ricky, are you busy? I want to ask you a question, a real simple question. If I said that I was going to increase your salary by 27%, would you consider that a good thing? 27%. So whatever it is you make now, all sources of income, I was going to increase about 27%. Would you accept that offer? No strings attached. Just, right? What if I said I was going to reduce your taxes by 27%? All the taxes you pay, all your income taxes, your sales taxes, I was going to reduce it by 27%. Probably, would you say that's a good thing, or would you want to pay more taxes?
So, with me not even knowing...
Yes or no, man? You're going to mess my point up. Would you like... Okay, thank you.
If you say I get a 27 increase and a 27 decrease in taxes, yes.
All right.
Now, prove your point.
What if I said I was going to decrease what you pay in rent every month? Or your landlord, not me. Let's say it's not me saying these things, it's somebody else. The government sends you a letter and says, hey, Ricky, we like you a lot. We're going to decrease what you pay in taxes by 27%. Send this letter back with the word yes at the bottom if you agree with that. You probably send a letter back. If your landlord said, hey, Ricky, you're a good tenant, I like you, I'm going to reduce your rent by 27%. But he said, no, it's up to you, though. Would you say, yeah, reduce my rent by 27%? Or would you agree that you should continue to pay what you pay now? Or would you accept the decrease?
I would say yes.
Okay. Real simple. I'm not like trying to trick you. I'm just trying to stress the importance that 27%, while it's not 100%, it's decent. If any of you got a 27% raise, you'd be like, oh, this is cool. If your bills, your monthly expenses were reduced by 27%, that'd be huge. What if We Energy said, you know what, everyone, we've been unfair. We're going to decrease your energy bills by 27%. Cool. What if the next group of elected officials say, we're going to reduce your property tax payments by 27%? You'd be like, damn, that's awesome. While 27% is not 50%, it's not 75%, it's noteworthy, right? And 27% can have an influence. Ladies and gentlemen, there have been 45 different men that have served as president of the United States. 45 men. Grover Cleveland was elected twice, and so was Donald Trump. So a total of 45 different men elected president. 27% of the men who've been elected president of the United States own slaves. 27%. Now, I want you to understand something now. In the 27% of the men who have occupied the presidency, think about where their mindset was when they were creating laws, signing bills into law, and issuing executive orders. Now, the way they did executive orders some time ago, a little bit differently than they do it now, and also the legislative record of all of the bills signed into law in the early days of the Republic is not as accurately recorded as it is in the modern era. But I have a detailed list of 372 minimum executive orders that were signed by the presidents while they were owning slaves. The original foundation of this nation, 27% of the men who served in the office of the presidency owned property in human beings. And if you don't think that they set some kind of a foundation for what the rest of this republic would be in perpetuity, then you don't know anything from anything. So when I talk about structural and institutional racism, 27, damn near 30% of the men who have ever been president owned slaves. And you think that didn't influence their policies? You think that didn't influence their policy-making decisions? You think that didn't influence how this republic was structured and how it grew from there? It did. Just like a 27% reduction in your taxes would be huge. A 27% reduction in your rent would be huge. If you got a 27% raise from one paycheck to another, it would be huge. The impact of the 27% of American presidents that own slaves is also huge. Now, I'm going to take a break. I need y'all to think about that.
In other words, it's the foundation of America.
100%. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What builds a strong financial future? It starts with small lessons, like saving a little each day. With U.S. Bank award-winning digital tools, you can track, spend, and save all in one place. Every deposit, every decision turns small steps into lasting opportunities. At U.S. Bank, we're here to help you build healthy financial habits today so you can open new doors tomorrow. Building a future together. U.S. Bank, the power of us. Visit usbank.com/powerofus to learn more. Member FDIC.
Step right up and gaze into my crystal ball. I see flashing lights, spinning reels, and a big win. This August, you have a ticket to a cash carnival at Potawatomi. Play with your rewards card and earn entries to win your share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Prize drawings every Thursday through August 28th. Your fortune awaits only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
Juneteenth signifies the occasion in 1865 when the final enslaved blacks in Texas were notified of their liberation 2.5 years subsequent to the Emancipation Proclamation. The moment when 100% of victims of slavery finally recognized their liberation indicated the principles of the U.S. Constitution came to be universally applicable. This represents a success for Black Americans and a subsequent and significant point in American history, highlighting the nation's alleged dedication to liberty and justice for all. The recent verdict in the murder of Sade Robinson serves as a reminder of the enduring evils and oppression we still face. Despite independence, numerous blacks still encounter exploitation, and they are masquerading as freedom. Commemorating Juneteenth compels us all to acknowledge these realities and compel the nation's past and promote a truthful national narrative. Juneteenth, along with the murder conviction of the disgusting individual who killed Miss Robinson, serves not merely as a celebration, but also as a summons to action. Remember this history in your daily discussions and interactions. If Juneteenth caused the conflation of liberty and justice for Black America, I say one death represented by the murder of Miss Robinson is a denial of liberty and an injustice to all of Black America.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm not scared of lions and tigers and bears, but I'm scared of. I'm not scared to perform.
It does not sound nothing like that woman.
Well, this was the Jasmine that I was thinking of. All right, let's talk to Bob. Hung up. Let's talk to Al, though. Hi, Al. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. You know what I was going to say? You asked Ricky that question. I was going to say, or what Ricky could do is sleep with the owner of the building as long as he hit it once a month, and the owner of the building give him 30% from the proceeds of what the building makes, which means it's benefiting both parties. But moving forward...
So turning Ricky into a hoe for rent. A hoe.
I can't get pimped out now. I can't get pimped out.
Well, that's not that. Well, the 304 is doing it for free. He's doing it for business and monetary gain.
Okay.
And plus, it's a mutual benefit. So ain't nobody taking no losses. One is getting financial and the other one getting no orgasm. Ricky just got to make sure he hit that spot.
Ricky's landlord is a man, by the way, but proceed. Go ahead. Didn't want to interrupt.
Well, that's all right. He said, well, if he's getting $30,000 a year, then he can go ahead and get that second ring. Just don't tell nobody. What I was going to say, what I notice a lot about the Republicans, they always try to play hero when they're nothing but the villain. Hey, we're going against the system. We're going against the system. But you like, hey, dum-dum, you are the system. So what are you talking about? But they always like to play victim. And when you play that song, I Ain't Scared, you know what a good song you should play, AI?
Yes.
No, not that one. You should make one called "You Ain't Getting No Ass" because no means no.
yeah.
And then of course, to be like, "But I'll play in your mouth."
Okay. Thanks.
I think that would be good. And the other thing too, I was going to say, whenever you get time, you and your other significant other, maybe whether it's 1, 2, or 3, I think you and her should go to a sex party. I think you will come across some awesome people. You will learn so many things, and it will open your eyes to a whole new light of euphoria, because when you look at a lot of marriages, they only do the 1-2 step. Everything is routine. But to be in the vicinity where you have that sense of euphoria, and you have the scent of lust, and the flesh is weak, and you might come across that CEO or from the lady next door, and she might be in the swing set and the nun outfit, and you got one person on the left boob, one on the right, one between the legs, and you can really see how things work when you have people working as a team. Because sometimes it takes a team when you want it to get mean, because sometimes one person can't do it all by themselves. But I would just say, whenever you get a chance, look into that, go into that with somebody. And I know you said you went to the naked bike race. I would say go to a nude beach. You have so much diversity. You got little boobs, big boobs. You got, the petite woman. You got the vivacious woman. You got all them curves, thighs, and monkey and breasts. Just expand it, and you will be surprised how expanded your mind will be. And it comes with no judgment, no drama. And you will have so much. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because a lot of these so-called men, they're very, 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 very basic. And a lot of these women are faking their orgasms because they only do 1 or maybe 2 positions. They ain't really doing nothing real kinky and real freaky or, doing a crouching tiger. But a person like you who's very seasoned and very ungodly, you will be that one person that they will have to pretty much watch. Because it's an old wise saying, if you let me in your house, I'll F your woman. And depending if you're liberated, I'll F both of them, your woman and your man. But if the women is like real low down, they'll say, well, I'm going after the grandmama and the grandfather because they are the beginning of the generation and they have more access to the funds.
Okay.
All right. Well, you have yourself a good day.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, then, Al. That's pretty cool.
I will go to one. I was invited to one, actually. A couple of them.
I have a story, actually.
You went to one? I was invited to one, but I couldn't make it. You actually went to one.
It was long. I told the story before on the air, so it's not like it's a secret.
You did?
Yeah, but I didn't participate because I was freaked out.
I don't remember this story. No, I remember all your stories because your stories be iconic. That sounds like Mariah the Scientist, I'm telling you.
This is a song that I created while Al was on the phone with his suggestion of withholding physical affection, but you can play in my mouth. I'm so scared to let it play because I don't know what the lyrics are going to be. All right, what is this here? The Republican-led Texas legislature voted on Wednesday to advance its controversial congressional redistricting plan according to Donald Trump's wishes. The Texas House of Representatives voted 88-52 along party lines to approve the map that could deliver 5 additional seats to the Republicans. It will now be sent to the Texas State Senate, where it is also expected to pass this evening. The vote follows weeks of partisan standoff, police monitoring of Democratic lawmakers, and mounting pressure from President Donald Trump to secure the House majority ahead of the 2026 midterms. This is what it means to lose your democracy, where Democrats are monitored and they are forced to participate in a plan that dilutes minority representation in Texas that helps Donald Trump keep his majority in the House of Representatives. The majority that Donald Trump is trying to get, he is doing it via illegal means, but the law doesn't matter. So when we say the democracy is crumbling, it means the law doesn't matter. The law doesn't matter to them. I think Linda or somebody, Lisa called and said, oh, well, if the law doesn't apply to Donald Trump, then we can do whatever the hell we want. No, you can't. They will blow your brains out if you do it. That's why they're experimenting with putting the military in American cities. It's not even about immigration. Y'all know that. You need a reason. You need an excuse to enact the military. It almost don't even matter what the excuse is, but you need one. You can't just put the American military in cities where you're afraid of Americans' insurrection because what Donald Trump has planned is going to be worse than what he's already done. You got to say, oh, the immigrants are coming here and taking your jobs. We got to have Department of Homeland Security and ICE and some military people, the National Guard, remove the immigrants from the country. No, that's just the excuse. Saddam Hussein didn't have weapons of mass destruction. That was just the excuse. All you need is an excuse. Maybe Osama bin Laden did. Maybe he didn't have something to do with the bombings of the Twin Towers and the Pentagon. Even if he didn't, that was the excuse to go to war in the Middle East. You understand? You need some kind of excuse. And here's why we have to be so careful in who we vote for, because they can provide any damn excuse. Who is this, Ricky? Oh, I got to do some damn. Who is this, Bob? No, not yet. I don't want to. I don't have to. No. I got a lot on my plate. Ricky, I'm going to tell people some information. Are you ready for me to tell people some information? Like, the Truth is the proud home of Marquette University High School football. Did you guys know that? The 2025 football season starts with a bang, and we have a big-time matchup between two traditional football powerhouse programs. Tune in on Friday night as the Marquette High Hilltoppers host the Arrowhead Warhawks. That's actually going to be a good game. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Friday Night Football on The Truth is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. I'm going to take a break, come back, and tell you guys about more stuff. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This summer, make 3rd Street Market Hall your one-stop, must-stop destination to eat, drink, and play. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 15 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall featuring 30 Wisconsin breweries, over 50 HD TVs, and happy hour specials all week. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch, 3rd Street Market Hall is your home away from home or office. Visit 3rdstreetmarkethall.com for menus, events, and more information.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
August is Black Business Month, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth is teaming up with Associated Bank to celebrate excellence of Black-owned businesses in our community. Together, we are committed to uplifting local organizations and supporting Black businesses. This is why Carrie Noni will be hosting a Black Business Spotlight show Tuesday, August 26th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. She will spotlight 3 locally owned Black businesses and tell the story of their success. Whatever your financial needs are, Associated Bank can help. Member FDIC. So that's Carrie apparently is doing that. So that's cool. All right, then. Let's see here. From Austin, Democratic State Representative Nicole Collier refused to come to the Texas state capitol for 2 weeks. Now she won't leave, and fellow Democrats are joining her protest. Collier was among dozens of Democrats who left the state for the Democratic havens of California, Illinois, Massachusetts, and New York to delay the Republican-controlled legislature's approval of redrawn congressional maps sought by President Donald Trump. When they returned Monday, Republicans insisted that Democrats have around-the-clock police escorts to ensure that they won't leave again. They're enslaving duly elected members of the legislature. I need y'all to understand that. And for the Black folks would always wonder, or they speculate on where they would be in different points of time in history when white supremacy was much more robust. Where Black folks are right now tells you where they would have been then. Oh, Sherwin, if they was doing all that lynching, I would have stood up. Oh, Sherwin, if them white folks would have been all racist and doing all that stuff to us and calling us the N-word, I would have called them the N-word back. They are literally taking Black representation right from underneath us. They are violating the Constitution, the 14th Amendment, and the Voting Rights Act, and most Black folks are silent. So how you are now is how you would have been then, because this is your opportunity to show how you wouldn't take it, you wouldn't tolerate it, and how you would be pushing back in the face of white supremacy. No, you wouldn't. Just like Black folks that didn't do it back then, they were scared they were going to get killed, scared they were going to get lynched, scared they were going to lose their job. Back in Mississippi, prior to the Voting Rights Act, if you were Black and tried to register to vote, and if you had a mortgage on your house, the bank would foreclose on your house. You would lose your job, and you would get a visit from the Klan. That is what prevented a lot of activism. Here's what's crazy. Ain't none of that preventing us from being active now. But Collier, who wouldn't sign what Democrats called the permission slip needed to leave the House chamber, a half-page form allowing Department of Public Safety troopers to follow them, she spent Monday and Tuesday on the House floor, where she set up a live stream while her Democratic colleagues outside and had plainclothes officers following them to their offices and to their homes. Dallas area Representative Linda Garcia said she drove 3 hours from home from Austin with an officer following her the whole way. When she went grocery shopping, he went down every aisle with her pretending to shop, she said. As she spoke to the Associated Press by phone, 2 unmarked cars with officers inside were parked outside of her house. California legislature poised to vote on redistricting plan in response to Texas gerrymandering. The California state legislature was poised on Thursday to vote for a plan to redraw its congressional boundaries and create 5 new Democratic House seats, an answer to the Republican redistricting push in Texas sought by Donald Trump, aimed at tilting the map in his favor. ahead of next year's midterm elections. Every Democratic state with a trifecta is going to have to do this because Trump is going to lose the 5 seats that he's gained. He's going to get his 5 seats in Texas, but the Democrats are going to gain 5 seats in California, making everything in Texas a zero-sum game. Then Indiana might, then Ohio might create 5 new Republican seats, which means that Illinois is going to have to do it, and whatever states in which we have Democratic trifectas. Let's talk to Norman. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
What's up, my brother? How you doing, man?
I'm the same. How are you?
Hey, man, I've been listening to you for like 10, 15 years or whatever it is.
Thank
but,
you.
man, you said something that really made a lot of sense. Let these young kids get into radio announcing and doing stuff because we ain't going to be around forever. And, man, that is so cool what you said about everything that's going on, and that was some cool stuff. Man, that's cool. You ain't selfish. You kept it real. Hey, man, have a good weekend and all that good stuff and love, bro.
Thank you. I don't even know. Not today, I didn't say it. Sometimes people listen to like a previous day's show and then they bring that comment to this current topic, which is fine. All right, here we go. Hello, Bob.
Hello, sir.
Hey, man. Don't clear your throat in the phone. Nobody need to hear that.
My sandwich, I fail in my sandwich, and I may yell a little sometimes, and, you know, when I move. But look, you said a word, not during this break, but during the other break, you and Rick of what kind of country this is. And I'm here to tell you, it is, I forgot the word, but it is a middle-of-the-road white country. The right race is white, can't win, and the far left can't win. But the middle are influenced. It's like they put Barack Obama in twice, and Trump, and Biden. You know, and my last thing, I just want to say, you know, ain't no president has ever been protested in 50 states. Even if California didn't get them 5 votes. You are toast, Trump. And what about the flood people?
You mean you don't think any president has ever been protested in 50 states?
No.
Sure they have. Absolutely.
Huh?
Oh, good God, yes.
Oh, in 50 states?
Yes, Bob. In your lifetime, and I'm very disappointed that you don't know this. Bob, do you know that there was a Vietnam War? You might not have heard of that. And do you know that there were a lot of people in all 50 states that participated in Vietnam War protests, whether it have been in Kennedy's administration, Lyndon Johnson's administration, and Richard Nixon's administration. And there probably were Vietnam protests in Gerald Ford's administration. So that is 4 presidents in which I know that there were anti-Vietnam War protests with those 4 presidents. There were also civil rights protests, too, and it wasn't just relegated to the South. All over the country when black people were being harmed during the Jim Crow era, there were protests all over the place. So, yes, Bob, presidents have been protested in all 50 states, man. Just because you don't remember don't mean it didn't happen, dude.
No president has said they will grab a woman's tutu.
Oh, yeah, they have.
And he
they just didn't get caught.
Toast.
Of course they have. Presidents have been grabbing tutus for years. That's what they do. Goodbye, Bob. Goodbye. Some of y'all remember the Vietnam War protests, right? They were everywhere. There were college campuses all over the country. All over the place. Okay? So no, it's not. He ain't the only one. The nation's 2 most populous and ideologically opposed states were racing on parallel tracks toward consequential redistricting votes, potentially within hours of each other, as Democrats in Sacramento, California, work to advance a legislative package that would put their Election Rigging Response Act before voters in a special election this fall. Republicans in Austin were nearing the final vote on their own gerrymandering pursuit. You know, there's some conservative pockets in California. And I hope when the California legislature creates these 5 brand new Democratic voting districts, they are heavily black, they are heavily Latino, heavily Asian, and heavily non-white. I hope that they dilute conservative, Republican, Trump-leaning congressional districts because those people, I'm going to say it, don't deserve representation in Congress because of what Donald Trump stands for, flying in the face of the entire civil rights movement, flying in the face of the 14th Amendment, flying in the face of the U.S. Constitution, flying in the face of the state constitutions that are also being violated, and flying in the face of the oaths of office that these jerks took with their hands on Bibles. If you vote for and support that, you shouldn't have representation in Congress because your political ideology should not exist in this country. This is something for like pre-World War II Europe. Like, you don't belong here. You were not on a path to help move America forward. If you were that afraid of replacement theory, then do what you guys have been telling us to do. And we wouldn't be mad at you at all. Go back to Europe. Go. There's so many of your people. They have your same last names. There's like towns named for your last name. Go. No one is going to stop you. Do you want to go fund me? We'll help you. If you don't like the fact that Republican representation is going to be diluted in blue states, if you don't like that, go to France. Go to Norse, Finland, Swedenland, dear. You guys enjoy your trip. I'll see you next time. Maybe.
Truth Nation, please join us at our 3rd annual Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m.